What's going on, people? I am the Bugzy Ely, aka TBO Ely. The reason I'm doing this video today is because recently I went on the RTM podcast, and I seen that as an opportunity to tell the world what this beef's about and show the world that I'm not a hater and I'm not just coming at him for no reason. I've got valid reasons to not like him. I just feel like the way things went, I didn't get the opportunity to tell the full story, and I missed out a lot of details, and I feel like the story was kind of watered down, and it's give room for people to jump to assumptions and speculate even further, and make conclusions of that it's all about hate and so on. So I just want to address a few things today and tell a story exactly how it was, and hopefully by the end of the video you can see from my lens that this ain't about hate, this ain't about jealousy, and I have genuine reasons. So where do I start? So yeah, in the other podcast I mentioned how I moved to Prestwich from Hume because my mum wanted to get away from growing up in the drama. My little brother was about 7 at the time. I was going into year 7, and she just thought this is a good time to move away before we grew up and started going down the wrong path, well, especially me anyway. So going into year 7, we moved to Prestwich. When I first moved around there, I made a friend on my estate. He was a mixed race guy, but his family was from my side originally, so we had culture in him. He was going to see his nana a lot, so me and him just clicked straight away, and he became a friend. And then in my high school, I recognized a guy that was in my primary school back in year 4, but he left and moved to Broughton. And we was good friends in primary school, so it was a pleasure to see him again. I was happy to see his face, you get me? So from that day, me and him just become best friends again. And so yeah, I had a couple of friends, made a couple of more as the months went on, settled in nicely. I did have a few fights around the way because there was a few racist guys up there, but apart from that, got established pretty quick, and and it was okay. Everything was good in the ends. Going into year 10, I made a couple of friends because one of them moved from London to Manchester to live with his brother. I think his mum kicked him out. And a couple of months after that, we seen another black guy in the area, a new face. We got chatting to him, and he told us he was from Old Trafford. Now, when we got speaking, we had mutual friends, so yeah, from that day forward, he became part of our circle. And then a few months after that, we seen a new face, and that's how we met Aaron, aka Bugzy Malone. He's a black guy getting off the tram. He was with this white guy. We seen him, got chatting. His face lit up when he seen us. It was like he'd never seen a black guy before. He was with this white guy, but I didn't see this white guy again. And I never really questioned that. But yeah, he was just with us from that day forward. He was nothing like the guy he proclaimed to be back then. Like, he had zero culture. He spoke posh. He was the only one out of us all that was living in a bought house, in a posh house with his family, with his parents. So he just seemed different, but we wasn't trying to discriminate. We was just happy to see another black guy, and that's what we did, was banding together. So we welcomed him with open arms still. He had a lot to learn though. He didn't even know what a party was, so we taught him his culture, and showing him that the identity that he was carrying wasn't his true identity, Anyway, he quickly started to pick things up, started to talk like us. act like us. You know, he was changed very quick. Yeah, and he always looked up to us. He couldn't rap at the time, but he used to just watch us and just be intrigued. You know what I'm saying? Starstruck. One day he said to me, he wants to learn how to spit and write, and asked me if I can show him. So I told him, yeah, I'll help you. And he was like, yeah, if you help me, I'll become, I know anything I put my mind to, I'll become the best at it. And I wanted to see that, so I said, yeah, man. And then I helped him structure his verses, taught him how to flow. And then for the next few months, he was just practicing, and then he could spit, you know what I'm saying? We made a few little freestyle videos together. We was filming on the Nokias and all that back then times, you know what I'm saying? Sending the videos around with Bluetooth. But yeah, man, everything was cool. That was our team. So Aaron lived just over the road from my friend from London, and they lived in Whitefield. And then my friend from Old Trafford, he lived like just by them, but about 5 minutes away to the right. And then I lived at the other end of the triangle in Prestwich, which was about 10 minutes away, you know, a quick bike ride. But yeah, I was pretty much hanging around with each other every day. You know what I'm saying? Them times there was into grime, was doing music from back then. My friend from Old Trafford was already in a crew called LMC, and then basically he's brought me in and introduced me to them guys, and then before you knew it, I was rapping with them, and we was doing good. We was making waves in the city, we was performing, we was doing well. A few months later though, a situation happened. Bugs has phoned me saying that he's just got into some problems with these guys. So very early on, when we first met Bugs, he made it clear, the first thing he did, I feel like he told us that at the tram that he was getting bullied. Like, he literally opened up to us that, you know, he don't really see no black guys around there, he's racist where he is, and you know, he's had a lot of problems in the area, so we told him that, why were you with us now? And that was that, you know what I'm saying? He's phoned me saying that some guys have tried it with him. He's had to get off, but where am I? Because he wants to go back and deal with the matter. So I told him that I'm not about. I said, phone my right hand. So he's phoned my boy. He lived on my estate. He's gone and got him. They've rid down there to this estate. And then the first thing that the guy said to my boy was, right, is this who you bought for me? And they started throwing punches, so my boy smacked him up. Bugs just stood there. Next thing the guy's boy says, right, all right, it's my turn now. Jumped in. Now my boy's already took a little damage off him, he's tired. Now he's fighting the second guy, and Bugs is there, fresh, didn't get involved. Tough fight, he's ended up beating up the guy, but he's come home with cuts and bruises, you get me? And he was kind of hobbling. These times now I'm back from where I was, and I'm with one of my other brethren, and we told him to meet us at the tram, so they're coming back, we've seen him in the distance, and I can see that he's hobbling, so I'm just getting vexed now. Anyway, they've come over, I've looked at him, he had a little blood on his lip, bust lip and that, just cut up knuckles. I looked at Bugs, he looked fresh. So obviously, I badded him up, told him you're a coward for not fighting, how dare you go and get a man to fight your battles and you're not done nothing. And I know it hurt him, he put his head down and he walked away. But I still had love for him, you know what I'm saying? It was what it was. I didn't really hold it against him because I didn't really see him as a fighter, you get me? And I knew that he didn't grow up like us, he didn't have it in him. But these times around the fight, this situation there now, he had a few fights, you know what I mean? And we had waxed skill to go and catch up with these bullies that was bullying him and warn them off. And you know, me and Bugs ourselves punched up a couple of them that he pointed out, that he told me bullied him. You know what I'm saying? So I knew he had it in him to fight, so I didn't understand why he didn't fight these guys. But apparently these guys was like his main bullies that he was terrified of. So, and he was getting chased home from school and all that from. So, all right, my boys dealt with him. I told him he's a coward for not fighting, and that was that. Now shortly after that, there was some new kids coming to the area, going by the name LHG, which stood for Little Hill Gang, and they was like the younger Cheetah Mill, the youngers of the CHG. And these guys was coming to the area, just robbing people, causing trouble, stabbing people. So obviously we heard about him. We wasn't worried, but we was ready, and just thought if we ever cross paths, we're not gonna let them bite us up. You know what I'm saying? They've come to the area, about 20 of them, and they've come to the park, and we're in the park, and you know there's a big confrontation, head to head. I've gone head to head with their leader, and you know said what, and he didn't want it. He started looking at the guy next to me because he was quiet and saying, "Right, you're all right, but who are you?" And then try picking a fight with him, and that's my boy, my best friend who fought Bugzy's battles for him a couple of weeks before, and you know what I'm saying, he didn't get involved. Now, my boy said what? But I said, Lawa, no one's touching him. And then my boy just stood down, he let me handle the situation, do you get me? But my boy would have ripped his head off, and he wanted to rip his head off, but he didn't, you know what I'm saying? Just held it. Anyway, we walked away untouched, even though we was outnumbered, you know what I'm saying? A week later though, there was an event in Heaton Park. It was bonfire night. We've gone there was about 5 of us. Bugs wasn't there. My boy from London wasn't there. It was just me, it was just my boy from my estate, a couple of my other boys, a couple of my boys from Old Trafford came up. And yeah, there was 6 of us all together. We've got into the park, and then all of us straight away, we was surrounded by about 30 LHG kids, yeah? Now, their leader went straight for my boy, head to head with him. So we've all focused on that, you get me? Went head to head with, that was where we formed our triangle, you get me? But there was about 30 of them in front of us, but we held it. Anyway, backed them up. Talking about one-on-one. Say no one's touching my boy. Anyway, my boys just said, fuck it, let us fight. So, all right. Divided a one-on-one. My boys smacked him up. Next thing, they're lighting fireworks, pointing the 8 shots at us. And we've stood there, you get me? Shots are flying over the head. We've lit ours, pointing them at them. They just dispersed, you get me? Couldn't even see them, they're just gone. So we thought, all right. Because of the big confrontation now, we thought it's best we get off, because police are on the way, you know, it was all in public. A lot of people was phoning police and scared and screaming and all that, and kids was around, you know what I mean? So we've got off. Next thing now, I'm getting phone calls from the oldest, and I always wondered how they got my number, but yeah, they was telling us, come back. So I'm saying no. Well, we've done our thing, we're gone. It is what it is. You get me? Why is it going running around causing trouble? And then when it gets smacked up, now you guys want to get involved. But these guys was adamant that we'd come back, so I said no and put down the phone. I told my boy, yeah, stay on your P's and Q's because these men are looking for us. And yeah, for the next week, we're just laying low, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to stay on our toes. The next week, I went to see my boy from OT, just next to the tram station. And I used to cut down this alleyway to get to his house. So I've been at his house for about an hour, and then I've come out. And then when I got to the top of his street, at the bottom of this alleyway, about to cut through, Bugs came walking down now. I had not seen him, He wasn't at none of these situations, but I did have my suspicions that he was moving with him because people knocked on my uncle's door. You know, these times I was actually staying with my uncle because my mum would kick me out. She was, you know what I mean, volatile, keep saying get out. So I was staying at my uncle's anyway. People was knocking on the door saying, was you there last night at this party? Because Aaron's been there and robbed all the PlayStation games and so on, but he was with a couple of people, black guys and that. So I'm wondering who they was. But when I asked him, he was saying that he didn't know who they was. He was just there with one of his friends. So he fobbed it off, you get me? But I had my suspicions because, yeah, you know what I'm saying? His energy was off. I didn't see him. And next thing, I'm hearing that he's been moving with him on the low. You get me? So when I've seen him, his energy. The first thing I clocked was his energy was off. He was gloved up, blacked out, and it's like he was looking for someone or he was on a mission. You know what I'm saying? He was on a move. So I'm just thinking maybe he's on a race. So I said, "What's going on?" Anyway, I just felt like he was over talking, trying to keep me there. So my intuition was telling me, "Yo, just touch him down, keep it moving." So I said safe anyway. I've walked off, but then when I've looked back as I'm going up this alley, I've just seen that he's still there. He's not gone in the direction he was actually going in. He's just stood there. So I'm walking up this alleyway now. When I got halfway, something told me jog because these guys could be about at the top, and if they're coming down, I'm going to be trapped. You know what I'm saying? There's no way out. So I started jogging. As soon as I got to the top of this alleyway, I turned left, and I seen these guys in it, about 20 man, at the petrol station over the road. Now, this road is a bridge. It's like a main road that goes over. It's a bridge over the motorway. You get me? Now, there's a fence on each side. There's a path, and then there's a fence, and then it's the main road. Then there's a fence, and then it's a path. Now, they was on their path on that side of the road, coming from the petrol station, but they was running towards the alleyway. Now I put my hood up when as soon as I seen him, I stayed on my path and I was walking past him. But they're on the other side of the road, not paying attention. They're just running, and then obviously there's pure traffic going past. As soon as they've got to this alleyway, they've hopped over the fence, ran across the road, hopped over the next fence, and all ran down this alley. Then I've looked back, and then the last guy that crossed over and then went down the alley, stopped and walked back out to the main road. Now he's popped his head round the corner and looked at me. Now I just looked at him, and then I just took a left and then got off. Now I knew that he tried to set me up.
It's time to rise. Had to smack you up, deep down it hurt me inside. You tried to set me up, said I was para but you lied. Just a couple weeks later, got my right hand, a nigga died 3 times. It's a blessing, is alive. How dare you try assassinate my character with lies? But you screaming out gang, same gang you denied. Wishing success, will you pray for my demise? Nothing but a snake, he was playing both sides. The type of nigga goes and sets his own G's up. The type of nigga shits on niggas when his P's up. The type of nigga goes home to put his feet up, to kick back, relax and watch your mum get beat up. The type of nigga needs ease 4-5 for the dry snitching. Aim at your head and leave your eye twitching. Type of nigga scream gang then his side switching. All these niggas switch his side, you can die with him.
Phoned my boy straight away and I told him what's gone on. And he was saying, nah, I don't think he would have done that. You know what I mean? So he arranged a meeting, and the next day we've met up. And I just remember Bugs coming, and his energy was like, he was upset that I'm even making these allegations, you know what I mean, and questioning his loyalty. So he was angry. If anything, he was more angry than I was. So that's kind of got me angry. So I told him the situation. I said, look, why was they running? He's tried to fob it off, but then, like I said, he's getting angry. So I ended up punching him in his face. We've got into a little grapple. You know, even when I punched him, I didn't put full force into the punch, you know, because I had love for the guy, you get me? I seen him as a friend, and I didn't want to damage him, you get me? And bear in mind, no one had been really seriously hurt yet, so flipped him onto his back, and then I was gonna punch him again, but my boy from London pulled me off him, you get me? So we got off lucky. Now, after that now, I didn't see him. LHG's come to the area again. It was the oldest though in the car that stopped him and basically told him, just wait here and have the one-on-one. So my boy, being the type of guy he is, said, okay, sweet. So he's there now, waiting. These kids have come, 20 of them. It's been put on their leader's toes to fight my boy. He's hesitated, so then his friends have said, F a one-on-one, and then they've all just jumped him. But he was with two of my other friends, you get me? Now, there was a girl that lived just over the road from this park, and they've kind of backed off that way, fighting, going that way. And they said they've looked up and they've just seen my boy was gone, so they thought he's got away, you get me? So they've gone into this house now. The girls opened the door, they fell into this house and shut the door. They didn't see where he went, but basically he's been fighting on the back foot, ended up in the park, and they've all just jumped him, stabbed him up. Well, they stabbed him in his leg, stabbed him in his face, beat him up, and just left him to die, you get me? Now, I got a phone call from a friend saying, just so happened to be walking through the park, and he found him, and that was just a friend that lived in the area. You know, by the grace of God, he was walking through the park and seeing him on the floor, because my friends that was in the house, they didn't even know what happened, that he was in there and that he was stabbed or anything. So ambulance has come, he was dead on the scene, they had to resuscitate him, got him to the hospital, you know, had to resuscitate him again. 3 times he died altogether. You know what I mean? I had to have blood transfusions to keep him alive. And then he was in a coma for the next few months, you know, critical, what do you call it now? Intensive care. Now that's where I spent my New Year on 2006. So I was there, you know, just praying that he pulls through. Bugs phoned me while I was at the hospital, and he was saying, you know, he's heard what's happened, and he was upset, and he was saying F them and talking about riding on them. So, you know what I mean? He was kind of giving himself an alibi in this phone call and showing his loyalty with us, you know what I mean? Don't forget, he already denied trying to set me up, and tried to keep his, you know, keep all that in the dark, and that he was with us still, you get me? So my focus was on my friend, innit? My head was all over the place, and he's just planted the seed, you get me? The seed of doubt. Bugs got locked up, he went jail for street robbery. Now he spent a year in there, you get me? So time went on now. He's got out. I've went to see my boy from London, but he was there. There was a bit of tension in the air because I've not seen him at all, you know what I mean? I didn't know whether to just punch first or what he was on, do you know what I mean? But I think because time had passed and there was the seed of doubt anyway, I think he was waiting to see what I was on. And because he didn't do nothing, I didn't do nothing. So the first thing I remember him saying to me though was, Eli, man. And that was his exact words, Eli, man. I'd never try to set you up, and you know what I mean? I can't even believe that, and he was being paranoid, and we spoke about the situation again, and I just give him the benefit of the doubt, you know what I'm saying? I didn't say whether I believed him or not. There was always that feeling, you get me? But yeah, we've just kept it civil, and when I say civil, I mean like not throwing punches, you know what I mean? Because everyone else that I've seen that was involved in LHG, that I bumped up with, sorry, like it was on site, headbutts in faces, punching them up, you know what I mean? Beat a few of them up in public places. So yeah, now I've seen him again. I was iffy, like I didn't know if he was involved, so that was that. I just kept it civil. Now, a few months later, I came up again I think these times now, I'm not in Old Trafford, I'm in Longsight. I got my first flat. I was living in Longsight at the time. I just got my first temporary flat, which was like 16 to 18. It was like a 2-year flat. So while I was living there, now I've popped back up to Prestwich to see my boy who moved from London. When I've got there, he wasn't in, so I thought, let me go check if he's at Bugzy's over the road. So when I've gone there, Bugs opened the door. He wasn't there, but he said, come in, innit. He was down about something, so I'm like, wow, what's up with you? And he's saying his stepdad's beat up his mum again, so I'm saying to him, bro, let's fuck him up right now. And he said, nah, it's live. Which I thought was strange. We're big men now, we're like 19, you get me? 18, 19 at the time, so I'm thinking, yo, no one could ever hit my mum and I'm not doing nothing, are you mad? My mum's boyfriend, and this guy was like some old guy, you get me? Grey hair and all that, white guy. So I just didn't get it, but he said it's live. So it's not for me to come to his mum's and start causing trouble, do you know what I mean? So I allowed it. Next thing, he starts telling me he's down about something, so I'm saying, what? And he said that when he first started chilling with us, he beat up his old best friend. Now, his old best friend was this white guy that he was with at the tram station when he first met us. So he told me that he beat him up and took a doo-doo on his doorstep. So I was shocked and surprised. I'm laughing out of, you know, out of shock. You get me? Like, yo, you mad? Right, I'm thinking, what did you wipe your bottom when, you get me? Nuts. Anyway, he said that, yeah, he feels bad about it. And then he started going on about some book he read in jail, 48 Laws of Power. And I've never heard of this book, but he said it's a good book and it'll help you get rich, and he's practicing it. So I thought, this guy's nuts. I got things to do anyway. I need to get back to Longsight to get on with what I need to do. So off, just kept it moving, you get me? Next thing now, a few months passed by, you know, he started to take his music a bit. I've started seeing him putting in the work with his music, and then I started seeing this white guy in his videos again. You know what I mean? Which I thought was strange, but then I thought, oh, yeah, he must have made friends with him. But I thought that was nuts, because one of my friends couldn't beat me up for nothing, and then I'm gonna make friends with him, but whatever, innit? Started seeing this guy in his videos, and then next thing, he phones me saying that he's got something to show me. So I flew back up there, had a look. When I pulled up to this house now, he wasn't living at he was living at this girl's on the estate. But when he's come out, he had this kid's plate in his hand. Yeah, it was like a pink kid's plate, and with 2 turkey twizzlers on, and he's got in the car with this bag. I looked at the plate of food, I thought, yo, what you on? And then he said how his mum's kicked him out, innit? So he's living with this girl now on the estate. This woman had 2 kids, innit? And then he was there like that, eating off the kid's plate. I mentioned it in Take the Charge.
You ain't trying to feed your people like you say you do. You ain't giving to your people like you claim you do. He was eating off a plate and the kids as well. And when I pulled up at the crib, it was a living hell. The only person that didn't pay the rent was you. But yo, I'd always give the credit where the credit's due. And where's your loyalty? I shouldn't have to question you. Got stabbed, where the hell was you? It was written in your face, I ain't need the proof. You was acting like you didn't, but you really knew. Up in a body, it was really you. You let a man fight your battles and you snaked him too. The only reason that...
But anyway, he showed me the whatever, I had a look, and then I've kept it moving. He said that he was under pressure with it, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't really get rid of it, so I just had a look in it, and I kept it moving. Short time later, I think it was about a year or 2 later now, I heard Bugs has been arrested, but then he got let out of bail. And then apparently, well, not apparently, his boy has put his hands up and took the charge and gone jail for it, even though it was Bugs that got caught in the spot with the food. So now, he's, you know, fair enough, they might have had a conversation or whatever, and he's gone down for it. I don't know what's gone on, but all I know is he's gone jail and he stayed out. Now his music started to pick up now. Must have been about a year, another couple of years, a year or something's passed by again, I think. And he's phoned me now during the because I'm just living my own life, you get me? I'm not really focused on this guy. Every now and then I might see him on Facebook or whatever, social media, so I'm seeing, you know, with the music and so on. But yeah, apart from that, I wasn't really following his movements. I was living my own life, trying to stay afloat, you get me? But anyway, so where am I now? Yeah, he gets into this situation with Chipmunk now. Phones me, I get a phone call. I've not spoke to him for a while now, these times. But yeah, he was asking me for my advice and that, so I give it him. Now, if I was hating, I would have slammed down the phone and not give him no advice, but I wanted to see him win the war. I knew that this could actually, you know, be the break that he needed to get to the next level. And he phoned me because I previously had a situation with another artist from London called Big Chess, and that went viral, do you know what I'm saying? But I didn't jump on that moment at that moment in time because I didn't really want to blow off the back of that. I didn't really like the fact that I had to, you know, cause a bit of controversy and drama just to get my point across, for it to then blow up, and that was going to be my way in. So I didn't really take advantage of it, you get me? But anyway, he's phoned me, give him advice. He's won the war with Chipmunk. Then he's gone ghost, just went quiet, which is cool. People outgrow each other, and I understand that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't feel no type of way. I was doing me. Now, shortly after though, you know, he's doing good now. Goes to pick up a car. Next thing, I'm hearing indirects and talking about box of this, and he should have paid the rent. And now bear in mind, I put out a song called Letter to My Mum a week before he dropped that freestyle. This was 2010. Nah, sorry, we're now in 2018. I just dropped Letter to My Mum, and then he dropped And What 2 weeks later.
Tending plus I don't care who I offend. Be careful who you call a friend. I heard he's gonna be a boxer now, but first he should have learned to pay the rent. I've got new cartridges for the pen.
And I knew he was talking about me, but I was scratching my head thinking, what's his angle? And I said on the RTM podcast, I let that draw me out, but the truth is, I didn't respond straight away. If you check the dates, you'll see for yourself, it was like 6 months later I responded. But it was only after I heard him on a podcast talking about he was in a gang. Thought, you know what, let me read this book that he was talking about. Someone kept telling me read this book, because obviously it's helped him and there could be something beneficial in there. You know what I'm saying? So I've had a look at this book, and as soon as I read the first 4 pages, as soon as I read the first 2, I realized what he's done, and all the manipulation and just everything just made sense what he's done, you know what I'm saying? So I knew there that I'd been betrayed in the most worst ways possible, you get me? And now he's on the podcast, and now he's got space, and he's made it. He feels like he's made it. Is he coming at me and exposing himself, how he was in this gang? Next thing I'm seeing these guys in the video, the LHG members. He's talking about he's the king of the north.
Keep a sword and a shield to my right and my left. I was on the battlefield doing Macbeth. You can keep the east and the south and the west. I'm the king of the north, ready tied on my chest. And
He's saying king of the north. I'm not hearing king of the north of England. I'm hearing king of the hill, Cheetham Hill, king of the north, because you got north money, you got south money. Cheetham Hill guys didn't like us because they used to call us Southsiders, you know what I'm saying? That's how we got into beef with him in the first place. They come into the area, they're seeing us, and they're talking about Southsiders. So black people should stick together, especially in places like that where it's all white people with the minority, but they was different. It's like they seen themselves as white. But anyway, yeah, I'm seeing King of the North. When he's saying King of the North, I'm seeing King of Cheetah Mill, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's got these guys in the video, same guys that was involved in the beef back then. For the next 6 months, I thought, you know what? Let me just see his next move, see his next move after that, and then make a move. But then I feel like he was just getting more and more brazen with the fact that I wasn't responding. So I finally put out a song called Spooky, and you know, them times there he was making out, he was going on like he was the Batman, so I came as the Two-Face.
Boss a worker, I had to choose. And why is everybody so confused? Because I got a heart they think it's there to use. You don't know what I had to do. I paid my dues for these shiny shoes. Coming round but they blocks and squares. Trying to fit but not in here. It's all good cause we building here. Clear 200 in a year. Just tell Bugzy I see him there. Not my side so be prepared. Best think twice when you leave your lair. On that side look I leave it there.
And then it wasn't a diss track. I hyped it up as like it was gonna be a diss track because everyone's seen the Two-Face. I was already going at him on my Instagram, you know, calling him a snake and so on, you know, just to build up some momentum behind this video. But then when I dropped the video itself and the song, my message to him was, well, it was only an 8-bar, but basically I said, just tell Bugzy I see him there. Not my side, so be prepared. Best think twice when you leave your lair. On that side, I leave it there. Them times there, people actually said to me, leave it until you're on more of an even field, you get me? A lot of people wanted the diss tracks and people started saying, oh, he was hating, because no one knew what he was about, you know what I'm saying? And all they seen was a man going mad on Instagram and coming at him and not knowing what it was all about, you get me? So as time went on though, I told people back then, the bar's in my car, I can tell the story and expose everything anytime, but I need to get ready, you know what I'm saying? I left it, and since then he's been throwing shots, he's been, you know, it's like he's just behind his castle wall, yeah, firing arrows over the wall, and then trying to get me to respond and provoke me, yeah? So I make a move, and then he sits back. So then it just looks like I'm hating, you get what I'm saying? And that's what he's been doing for the last few years. But someone, like I said, someone told me, wait till you're on an even field. I feel like I'm on more of an even field with him. I decided to make the songs, telling a story, Turncoat, Take the Charge. You know what I mean? I declared war by saying Game of Thrones. To be honest, people were saying, why are you only just saying this now in Turncoat and Game of Thrones and Take the Charge? But the thing is, yeah, I was actually rapping about it and saying stuff from my first album, which was, I think was 2021, 22, extra chapters, and I spoke about the beef and just you know, I mentioned it, but people wasn't really paying attention. But that's for the fans and the listeners to catch up. I'm on my time, you get me? On my time, and other people's perspectives are just two different things, you know what I mean? But I can't wait around for them. That you've got to catch up with where I'm at, you know what I'm saying, and where this beef's at and where everything's at, you know what I mean? A lot of people have got opinions on me and him, but they're not even listening to the music, so they don't even know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, we're on an even field now. I've dropped Game of Thrones, and then I've dropped Take the Charge, and then I've dropped Turncoat, and I feel like that's the best one of the three, and that was actually telling the story, how he's playing both sides. He tried to, in his gang initiation into LHG, was trying to sacrifice me, sacrifice my boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Now, you got Spray talking about he's a king, yeah? And you know, some people might view my response as as hating, yeah, but I genuinely don't see him as a king. A king doesn't switch sides. A king isn't a traitor. A king doesn't run off and abandon his men. A king does right by his people, you get me? Now, he doesn't do right by no one. All he does is uses people, finesses everybody. You know what I'm saying? So people want to know why I keep talking about his best friend Matthew, yeah? And, you know, why am I so bothered? This is about code and morals now, you get me? Now, this Matthew kid was his best friend when he first met us, and he beat him up for no reason and took a shit on his doorstep, yeah? He didn't feel bad when he come out of jail about doing that. He come out of jail with a plan, yeah? And he knew he didn't have no dough, so he befriended Matthew, used him, yeah? Obviously, Matthew's dad was a millionaire, you get me? So he knew there was money over that side anyway. So he's got Matthew back around him, borrowing money off him to pay for videos and all that for the next few years. Done whatever together. I don't know why, because he's come, like I said, Matthew's a rich kid. Why does he need to get involved in whatever, you get me? I don't know, but all I know is Bugs has been caught in a spot. Matthew's the one that went jail for it. You get me? Now, fair enough if he's made that agreement for him to go to jail so you can crack on with this music. You know, couple mil on a schedule. Maybe Matthew believed in him so much that, you know, he was gonna take the hit for him, you get me? But all right, cool. But at least patting him when he comes out. When he's come out, what have you done for him? Nothing. You just used him. Get me? And that house that he was living in was Matthew's dad's, the one in Ramsbottom, this mansion. So I've got a video, yeah, where Bugs is talking about, he's calling people tramps and talking about he's done this by himself and independent and without the labels and so on. But he's doing that stood in Matthew's dad's house while it was, at the time, was being leased to him. He hadn't even purchased it yet. It's all smoke and mirrors, you get me?
Self-made. I'm not one of these fucking nerds winning all the awards with the labels and all that shit. Self-made. Done all the business myself. No one can discredit me. Nobody. Paid for my own fucking album last time round. Nearly fucking £500,000 out my own back pocket. People in the industry couldn't believe I was paying for the shit myself. So don't ever talk about the way I do business, you little tramp. And yeah, I want my fucking music back. Just made me remember that shit, nah? You little scruff. You wish I had a manager right now to quiet me down, you fucking idiots. I bet you're thinking, no way is he fucking doing videos and all that. You wanna know why? Because I'm fucking Bugzy Malone, mate. That's why. You fucking little nerd. Agitating me. And the fucking guy that owes me the music back is agitating me. And I'll see all these fucking pricks in real life as well. You fucking idiot. Rat.
And that helped him out a lot because that put him in a position to where he could then make enough money, generate enough money to then buy the house. In the long run, you get me? His best friend, his boy, Matthew, had so much to do with the success of his career, you know, since he come out of jail. This Matthew kid was his best friend when he first met us, and he beat him up for no reason and took a shit on his doorstep. If he finally gets the bravery to get away from you and cut you off, yeah, you phone him, or you're in Dubai telling him, come out there, promising him that you're gonna change and you're gonna have a fresh start, making pure false promises. He gets there, and you switch your phone off. And that was recently as well. Now, he spent a week over there by himself, seeing him, managed to track him down, seeing him, Bugs has looked at him and just drove off. And this is the type of guy, yeah, that he looking at and idolizing, you know what I'm saying? You don't know his true colours and what he's getting up to behind the scenes, off the camera, and this is the type of stuff he's doing. I feel like a lot of people have got stories, but I'm just paving the way for people to speak up and tell the truth, you get me? He did buy the house after a while, but for the first 5 years, that wasn't his house. He was leasing that. first couple years, should I say. But yeah, that's the only reason I'm telling Matthew's story, because I genuinely care about that, you know what I'm saying? This is about, to me, this is about Cold. This ain't about money, jealousy, all these things that Bugs is trying to paint out. This is about Cold. This is about morals. This is about bullying. You know what I'm saying? Betrayal. It's everything that he's done is the worst. It's despicable. You get me? And people want to tell me he's a king and expect me to say, yeah, he's the king. If he's a king, yeah, this is the Game of Thrones and he's Joffrey. He ain't no king.
Coming around, but the blocks and squares, trying to fit, but not in here. It's our goal, cause we're building here. Clear 200 in a year. Build a team till we're millionaires. Same team, we build a dream, but Bugzy Malone, he won't play fair. G's already made the rare. Give to man, but he bit the hand. He should've kissed the hand like he's saying prayer. Amount of times that I saved his skin, but at the table, there ain't a chair. Bugzy Malone's and his feelings be, cause I be where his secrets be. In the dark with his history, in the dark with his secrecy. On the P with like 30Z. Earn my trust when he turned to me. Gained some love when he come to me. And with my help, he was body free. How you mean you try to stunt on me? How you mean you throw a punch at me? Talking about you got a lot to say, but you bit my hand, so fuck your speech. Acting tough like you run the streets. If you was tough, why you run to peace? Say my name, you best come in peace. Back in pen, you was a chief. All you was a dirty T, so tell the truth and just keep it G. Cause you stood on watch while she got. You were so filled up with greed. So many tricks up your sleeve. You got the whole world deceived, and now that you made it, you piss on your team. It's not how real niggas move. It's not how real niggas eat. Nothing but life for your teeth. Tell the truth when you speak. How dare you this darky? That nigga's been there for you. From the look in his eye, I can tell it really cares for you. I was there when you needed me. He was there when you needed him. You remind me of a heartless bitch. Turn your back and not feel a thing. Pussy. Wet pussy. Gushy pussy. Stinking pussy. Bugzy Malone, you don't want it with me. I'm writing bars and I'm still in my seat. Hyperability, you gonna drown. Dry, most of my music is deep. Bugzy Malone, you don't want it with me. Pussy, let's play hide and I'll seek. You don't abide by the code on the street. Plus, most of your music is weak. Bugzy Malone, you're dying for me. Come to the rap and the guy that they need. If you want truth, look inside and you'll see. Pussy, you ain't as fire as me. I am the guy that you're trying to be. Everything I step this style you see. Dressing like it's in primary. Tell them. That's why to me. Talking about you gon' hire peeps. Acting like I won't buy machines. Come to the north, play hide and seek and slap you out of your tightest jeans. You don't talk about what you've done. You just talk about what you've seen. Felt the heat this the other day, but you told the boy you should call the police. 100 G's for my lawyer fee. I'm a boss, you can't fire me. Independent, no signing me. Independent, no buying me. Move with bosses, that's all Chinese. If you need a mail, they gon' wire me. Fuck with police, you ain't riding G's. Just keep it real like designer jeans. Keep your fame. Know your lane, it's a dirty game when you're throwing shade. Bring your fables, I bring my pain. If you come around me, I'll take your chain. Took my blueprint in this music, I can't believe that I ain't the heir. Game of Thrones is no waiting here. I'ma kill the king and then take my share, nigga.
The king does right by his people, not shits on his people. A video keeps getting brought to my attention where you can see me in the background, yeah? Now, I was in town that day. This was 2010, 4 years after my boy got stabbed. I was in town with my boy from London and he basically wanted to go see Bugs at this show. It was a freestyle event at this barbershop, King of the Hill TV. I checked it out, checked the dates and everything. Cause yeah, it does look like I'm behind him. It looks like I'm burning on him and whatever, yeah. People jump into assumptions once again, but the truth is, yeah, them times there, I wasn't really in it with him. You know what I'm saying? I was civil with him, but I knew he was shady. Now, I was in the other room. I didn't even really want to be on camera or be seen, you know what I'm saying? And neither did my boy. He was just there, pass through. You know what I mean? I was doing my thing, though. He could see me. I had the Stoney on, you know what I mean? I had the Rolly on. I was winning, you get me? Now, I've just heard some lyric, yeah, that caught my attention. So I've come into the room to hear what he's rapping about.
A gang member, always been local, got a bad temper, about as far back as I can remember. I've always wanted to be a gangster. I used to be a jack move monster, kung fu hustler, late night crawler, Italian mafia, new school mobster, football hooligan, roadside brawler.
And I was listening. I thought, oh, get me? I was ready to throw hands, to be honest. But I didn't hear nothing stupid like LHG. So I just kept it moving, you get me? Just want to make a point, yeah? If it wasn't, so we denied being involved with this gang, yeah? Now, from the day we had the fight, yeah? Now, if it wasn't for the mutual friend that we had, that lived over the road from him, he probably wouldn't have been involved with my circle from that day onwards, but because of him, and then because of the seed of doubt, you know, he was kind of still close to us for all them years later, and still had a foot and his position within my circle. But if it wasn't from this mutual friend of ours, he wouldn't have been around. It was all resting on the fact that he wasn't LHG, and if he was, and if he would have admitted it from then it would have been dealt with, and I would have never spoke to him again. I would have never trusted him. You know what I mean? I would have never helped him. So someone left a comment on the post saying, why would a local millionaire hang around with local criminals and bad man, yeah? But I'm scratching my head thinking, what are they not seeing? Like, that's exactly what he's doing. And people think I'm just a madman and just, you know, got all this in my mind. But you can clearly see that he's stood on the street with my name, balled up, talking about King of the North. He's got LHG members in his videos, and these people in Manchester that know that these guys that are around him now still are former LHG. Do you know what I mean? So, what does that tell you?
Look, I'm fucking with the Alizé blue again, and now my ego's telling me it's me against you again. I had a right man and then I kinda lost two of them. Killers knew a few of them. Some incarcerated and some are sitting at home, living with ghosts. I could've got the phantom, but I wanted two doors.
And it's not like he's out here trying to talk to the youth and putting them on the right path and so on. He's trying to act like a bad man. He's got a bally on his head and all that, do you know what I mean? And glamorizing it like that's the way to be, do you get me? And that's because he's the one that's not changed his mindset. And now all it is just he's in a stronger position and he's still trying to keep up with that old beef, you know what I'm saying? Now, from where I'm standing, I've just been dealing with his cowardly attacks for the last few years, you know what I mean? Now, what am I supposed to do? What would you do if you was in my shoes? You know what I mean? Not only that, he's talking about money on heads. You know, he's trying to use these allegations and rumors against me to rub up other people's backs, to get them to do his dirty work. You know, this guy really wants me gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't no petty beef, this ain't no, you know what I mean? This is serious beef, it's real beef, and I just want people to know, and I am speaking about him in music, you know what I mean? I'm telling a story, and if anything ever happens to me, that's there, you get me? You'll probably take it more serious then. But we're not trying to let that happen, you know what I'm saying? We're smart, you get me? We're not daft. But at the same time, I feel like bringing this to light will put me in a better position than keeping it in the dark, you know what I mean? Because while it's in the dark, then it's more dangerous, you know what I'm saying? I don't need to expose Bugzy Malone, yeah, because Bugzy exposed himself, yeah, when he done that freestyle and tried to come up my neck just because he was winning, and you know, we went to the showroom. He didn't have to do what he did then, but his ego and got the better of him, you know what I'm saying? And he used that as an opportunity to expose himself. When he's done the interview with Tony Bellew talking about when he bought the Lambo, it was heavy-handed, and he had old friends and started coming with jealousy. See, this is what I mean, he's a manipulator. It's all a lie, because he's not mentioned how he was gone there and started rapping, sending shots, you know what I mean? That's what he does, he's a coward. I just want to ask you lot, yeah, who beats up the best friend, yeah, just because they made some new friends? and takes a turd on the doorstep. Who does that? Type of crazy psychopath does that type of shit? Bugzy Malone, the evil genius, you know, the master manipulator, the 48 laws scholar. So I need you to realize what type of man you're dealing with and the type of person that you're idolizing and looking up to you and just know he's a fraud, you know what I mean? Most of Manchester know he's a fraud. He ain't welcome around here. He's not even welcome in Cheat Mill no more. They're pissed because he's finessed them too. You know what I'm saying? He's finessed them, he's done the 6ix9ine but at the same time, they shouldn't have allowed it. They should have cut that off from back then and told him, you're not from around there, you can't be LHG. You know what I'm saying? They want to talk about a lot of these LHG guys are not even from Cheating Mill, they're from Crump, so that's 2 minutes away, and it doesn't matter. I don't need to explain to you that if you're repping a gang and you're putting in work and causing trouble, that you're part of that gang. It doesn't matter if you live 2 minutes away. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people from Cheating Mill co-signed it at the time. They was rolling with him. The olders was rolling with him, and everyone knows LHG was a gang. You know what I mean? How do you mean there's only hillbillies in Cheating Mill? They ain't the only gang in Cheating Mill. There's pure gangs. Asians, Russians, Polish, Albanians. You get me? Now, all right, just because you've got, that's just like Doddit and Gooch, and then you got MSB. You know what I mean? But it ain't the only gang in Cheating Mill. Fight me, yeah? Like some real gladiators. Let's get in the ring and get it on, yeah? And I'll show the world what a coward you are, yeah? You're scared to fight me because you know I'll expose you and show the world that you're a coward, yeah? You know what I mean? People talk about, you don't owe you nothing. You owe me a fight, yeah? I don't even want no money, yeah? Our kids saved you that time. You should have got your head punched in, trying to betray me like that after we took you in and showed you nothing but love. You tried to sacrifice me for your initiation into them. What did they do for you at that moment in time? Who was they? You joined them because you thought they was the stronger side, yeah? But really, you left. You left these your best men that was like Spartans. You know what I mean? They never backed down from nobody. Outnumbered, never ran. You get me? You know our kid's a real soldier, and you know what he's been through since you went ghost, yeah? But you ain't reached out to him once, and he's the one that actually fought your battles and you didn't even help him, you know what I'm saying? If he was really innocent, why have you not reached out to him? There you go. So there's a lot of proof there, you know what I mean? Don't need no any more proof. I was scratching my head trying to get 100% proof for how long, even though the truth was always there in my face, but I think that's just love, innit? Love blinds you, get me? But like I said earlier on in the video, I seen him as a friend, but he never seen us as friends. He just seen us as stepping stones, you get me? That's all right. But you know, what goes around comes around, and now I'm just putting you in a position where I'm gonna show the world what you are and that you're a coward. People want to know what happened to Darky. Right, he ran off at the mobiles and left Darky to get stamped out on the floor unconscious. Locked himself in the female toilets. You get me? During the riots as well, he's gone to town, balled up, yeah, to run out of shops with clothes. He's been grabbed. Dark is flying kick the police. Now Dark has been grabbed and Bugsy's got up and ran off and left him. These times anything went. So we should have helped him, you get me? But he left him, Dark, he went jail, but then forgave him, and then forgave him just to get left again on the floor in the mobiles. No wonder them niggas ain't talking no more. You get me? He's a coward. But yeah, I'm hearing all this king talk, and like he's bad and all it. Keep showing himself punching up the bag. Right, the bag don't hit back. What makes Bugzy a king? What is success? How much money he's got? Right, a kid, yeah, 10, 15 years ago, yeah, that was sitting at home eating pizzas all day, racist, you know, abuses people, abuses animals. Right, he got lucky and put 10 grand on Bitcoin because he heard that it was going to be big one day. He's now worth 20 million, yeah? Still don't bathe his skin, still a fat bastard, yeah? And he's just, all he is now is an arrogant arsehole. Does that make him a king? Because he's successful? No, so I can't agree with that. Bugzy Malone is a king. What I want to achieve from this, I want a fight, fair fight, one-on-one, in the ring. You know, it could go another way, it could go down another path, but there's no winners down that route, so I want a fair fight. He claims he's the king, he carries himself like he's bad and he's tough and he's brave. And he's a coward, and I'm going to show the world he's a coward. You get me? This ain't about 15 years ago, this is about now, and the fact is he's still chatting shit, still on this gang shit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, let's get it on, show the world. But yeah, man, anyway, I'm just gonna leave it on that note. And yeah, now that I feel like now that I've done the video, I don't need to talk on the subject, I don't need to tell the story, because the story's there. Anyone can come back to it, you know what I mean? They know exactly what's happened. And yeah, man, we move. But yeah, man, check out Turncoat, out now. Take the Charge, out now. Game of Thrones, out now. Check out my album, Extra Chapters. Because like I said, I've been saying stuff, but you just need to catch up. That's up to you to catch up though, you get me? I'm on my time. So people are saying, why are you only doing this now? But the truth is, I've been saying stuff. If you go back to Extra Chapters 1, you'll hear, you know what I'm saying, things will start to make sense now. But at the time, no one really understood what was going on, but now you're knowing it, now you can catch up. It's not for me though to wait around for yous to, you know what I'm saying, I'm on my time, it's up to yous to catch up. So yeah, man, go check out Extra Chapters 1, 2 and 3. Take the Charge, Game of Thrones and Turncoat. We've got some new music on the way. You know, I've got a joint project with Rise coming soon. Heavy project. We've got a few visuals on the way as well. So yeah, man, stay locked.
Should've paid your rent, should've paid your debt. Your elevation takes separation. You get me? You talk about me, but you need to smoke. No surrender, no retreat. We're gonna attack from the west and attack from the east. Yeah? Keep it moving. Going in this year. You get me? Only real ones around me now. Yeah. I should've paid the rent, you should've paid your debt. And real talk, it can end your whole career in a sec. Man's insecure, I can read him like a text. The only reason it went ghost, cause he see me as a threat. You make me sound bad, but it don't make sense. Cause for 20 plus years, I still got the same friends. Catch me in the hood, I still go the same ends. There's nothing like me, so he has to fake pretend. Come to your gate and leave your head on a stake. You talk about me, you got arrested for rape. You're the type to steal straight from the collection plate. You sold your soul for the fame, so your soul I'ma take. Rumors on the roads, they're trying to find me like Nemo. Got a bit of fame and now it thinks it's Al Pacino. Prices going up like it's diesel. All my niggas rate the lorry and we do it like it's legal. Scared to death, you scared to look, you shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks to smack you up if you look at it funny. You think you're bad, you just a muppet with money, yeah. Scared to death, you scared to look, you shook. Ain't no such thing as halfway crooks to smack you up if you look at it funny. You think you're bad, you just a muppet with money, yeah.